Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name's Andy, Corporate Commander TFW, and I'm joined this week by the man who puts on Mikey Tails from the moon. It's Mikey G. Wolf E3. Hello, Mikey.
Glom Tails.
Woohoo!
Best Tails.
Yes, totally authentically Scottish.
Yep, absolutely Scottish. No one questioned this.
No, never do that. How's it going this week, Mr. Mikey?
Yeah, it's not too bad, Andy. What about you?
That's fine. It's fine. It's continuing as it usually does. There is very little in the way of Transformers news this week, but that's fine. That's sometimes just how it goes in this kind of dry season between conventions.
Topsy-turvy world we live in.
That's true. We're out of the busy period, but we do have a bit here and there, as per usual. I'm going to take the first two because the very first story is very quickie. Remember, Mikey, New Age Legends scaled Insecticons? Do you remember them?
I do.
Yes, well, we've talked about them having a normal cartoon standard coloured version. There was the toy standard coloured version, and now there's this version, which I don't know why it exists, and maybe you can help me with that, but it's a clear version in a bluey kind of purpley kind of colours, and I don't know why. Mikey, is this because of the Transformers movie and going, hey, Cyclonus is one of these guys, or is it for another reason?
Weird.
It would be,
like
but there would be a reason.
Is an armada.
Or they're all sweeps.
Oh God.
I don't know.
I don't know. No one knows. Basically, I've had a look, and it's just like no people are guessing the reformatting, but like no one knows. It could just be like they wanted an easy reuse of the mold and said clear plastic. Everyone loves clear plastic. Andy, you love clear plastic, don't you? Don't you love it?
I'm aware of clear plastic. It fills my veins with fear. I did scroll down, and there's another clear version of these figures as well, which are the cartoon colours, but clear.
What?
Yeah, scroll down the page, and you'll see, like, they'll go from, the last one is, like, Bombshell standing in front of a cube, and then it's like, oh, hey, it's Bombshell, but he's normal colours, but they're translucent.
No, this is just being bullshit and trying to get as much money out of people as you can.
It seems that way. Because for me personally, Mikey, me personally, if I'm going to do a repaint, I'm going to do them as do you remember the E-Hobby exclusive version? Because that makes sense.
Diaclone versions.
Is that what they were? Is that what those ones were based off of?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was a cool colour scheme because they were red and black, and that's usually my jam.
Some others were. I can't remember the names.
Yeah. That one, it has some, logic to it.
Or the deluxes. You could repaint them into the deluxes.
No.
Yes.
No.
You could. It's basically the same toy.
No. They're not basically the same toy. They're completely new molds.
Yeah, well, not anymore. Repaint them.
I don't like this idea. I agree, you could do that, but I wouldn't want you to.
But it's the only way you're getting them.
It seems like that's true, unfortunately, because no one remembers them, and when they do, it's just a very slight remold. Because we never got a full redo of the Legends figures into all of them, did we? Because we got Chop Shop from Shrapnel. Yeah. Did we get anyone else?
I don't think so.
No, because he could have done Barrage, I think, from Bombshell, and obviously Ransack from Kickback. And no one cares about Venom, probably because his name's licensed or something. But he was a cool figure as well. But never mind. Yeah, the Mikey, more translucent versions of these figures that are out or coming out very soon. Very uninspired. Do you have any happy thoughts on these?
No, I think this is cheap and tacky, and it looks cheap and tacky.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I'll also take the next story then, because it's not too... well, it is another quickie. It's the TFC Toys S-01 Astaroth, which is a G1 Cinetwin. So, I don't think this is I don't think it's a remold, is it? It's a completely new thing, right?
No, it's new, but clearly it's very similar to the one of the coelacanth limb from their Piranacon.
I
also,
saw in the story it mentions.
Yeah, the big thing for me is that there's a repaint of him into Big Bite, who looks like he'll be a God Neptune limb.
Oh, right, that's what that was. I wasn't sure if it was a repaint of him or it was the repaint of the coelacanth, and it's the coelacanth. So that's nice. Yep. So you're gonna get God Neptune at some point, Mikey.
Good.
But is it though?
Yes.
I won't buy it.
No, but they need representation.
He just needs to be on the map.
Yeah. Like, I just need more God Neptune in the world.
The problem I had with God Neptune is his individual limbs, apart from whatever the Turtler one was called.
Half shell.
They all looked shit in robot mode.
I mean, but they kind of did anyway.
No, I don't think so. I think the bright poppy colors for Piranacon made them a bit more distinct. And because they're all the same uniform color and most of it's washed out by white, I don't think they come out nearly as interesting visually as Piranacon. But I think God Neptune looks better than Piranacon. That's my thought on that. But Astaroth, Mikey, Sinatwin, do you feel he is sinful?
I think he's suffering from a lot of the problems that these guys have suffered when they're done by other companies, which is they don't really get how to make the beast mode look good.
Right.
Because what they've done is basically have the robot in limb mode, and then you flip out a few extra bits, broadly speaking, for him to be the sort of hellhound thing.
Yeah.
Now, I like the design of the heads. The body's too long and blocky. I just really wish there was more transforming going on here.
Okay.
And I remember when we got the groin set. It will always be groin to me. It was the exact same problem. Especially with Sinatwin, actually. He was one of the weakest ones from that set, in my opinion. But then that set included like just utter gold like blot. Troll-a-lol. He was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had Sinatwin, who was just like long robot with dog legs. So it's not super working for me. I dig the robot mode aesthetic. I think it's really, really nice. I think the color layout works as well. I just really wish they could do more with the beast mode. But it's one of those things where it says to me, we're concerned about the limbs and we're concerned about the robot. The beast modes are very secondary, and I understand why they would be.
Yeah.
But this is third party. This is top-notch prices and everything else. I just expect a bit more.
That's fair.
What about you, Andrew?
Well, one of the things I especially like about the Hellhound mode is it seems that the necks are very poseable. It seems like each segment of the neck is like a ball joint or something like that, so you get a decent range of movement out of it. So, I like that, the posing is a lot better than what we got for the Hasbro one, which was just locked into and kind of up and down motion with a ball joint for the head, for each head. And I think the head designs for them are quite expressive as well. Like you say, the actual dog, whatever he was meant to be, kind of body is just a rectangle for the most part, a pointy rectangle, which isn't great. I'm not too sold on the robot mode, but Sinatwin's... The problem with Sinatwin is he's never had a very distinct robot mode. He is a very generic-looking robot, but with some nice colors to him, because I've always liked the colors. I think the kind of goldy, sandy orange and the turquoisey kind of colors kind of work nicely off each other. But I've always found his robot mode just to be boring and lifeless, and that's always been a problem with the TFC combiners in general, because I'm pretty sure I had that problem with most of the C-Cons when they came out. We were like, oh, the fish modes are all great, but the robot modes are bland and kind of lifeless. Yeah. And it feels like we might be treading back the same direction again. Maybe not. But maybe. So he's okay. I just don't think the TFC style is my kind of style. But I know it hits a lot of buttons for a lot of different people. Just not fair. Me. Yeah. Mikey, do you want to take us on to the next bit of news?
Yeah, I'll just take this one because it's the one I put in the story. So Zeta Toys will not be releasing their Unicron that we talked about. Was it last week?
It was sometime. It happened one time in my life.
This was reported over on Cybertron, and my first thing is I hate this article with a fiery passion.
Why?
The writing in it is, and I'm not being personal, so I'm not saying names or anything like that about the author. I just think the writing in it is atrocious. It reads like someone is after starting a writing class and has a very big thesaurus.
Oh dear.
And just like, ooh, flowery language, you're losing your
hang on.
message.
Are you saying Simon Furman wrote it?
Possibly.
Okay.
But it's like, I'm sorry, when you include the word pretender to the Unicron throne, I'm just like, no, you lose your message, you lose your reader.
Oh dear.
Don't be that guy. No one likes that guy.
Oh no.
So take it from someone who used to do that whenever I was writing something. Get out of that habit fast.
Did you not have to do that for like papers though?
Yeah,
because I imagine that's something
really
you had to
bad
do
at
for
it.
papers.
I was really
Okay.
bad for it. Like, oh, the if we blah blah blah, I'd have 6 words where I needed 1.
Yeah.
And like, you get out of that habit as fast as you can. You need to be brief, straight to the point. People are not hanging around for the good well wishes.
It's only in school when you need to be flowery with your language for the most part.
And it's mostly to shut the teacher up.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't filled your word count out. Yeah, but I got to the
Jesus.
point. I got to the point faster than I had to.
And they said Butcher needed to have 3,000 words. No, I didn't. You were wrong. So the basic thing is that Hasbro issued a cease and desist to Zeta Toys about their upcoming Unicron figure. This has set a flame under people. Now, see, that's a use of language.
A flame war.
Flame wars. Quite literally, actually. But some people are like, usual, oh, third party's evil, finally Hasbro's coming down on them. And the other one is, oh my god, Hasbro, you're screwing us all over already, and now you're screwing us out of a replacement toy. I kind of half expected this to happen, if I'm honest. Zeta Toys was, and I love Elian, actually said this as well today, so I'm not just parroting him, I was already thinking it, I'm just now, stealing credit for a more popular person.
We'd never do that, not on this show.
No,
never done that.
I would. But that Zeta Toys was not being very smart in the timing of their release.
No, I think that's fair. I think that's a fair statement.
If we're honest, this is a toy that may not... The Hasbro one is already in trouble for maybe not getting made.
I hear from Tricky last night when I was talking to him on Skype that the numbers fluctuate on the backers thing a bit. Not massively, but like they lose and gain and lose and gain quite a bit.
Yeah, that's part of this thing. Like people withdraw their support after a while, especially when they... Like, I'm not entirely sure extending this as much as they did was necessarily a help. It's currently sitting at 5,600. So it hasn't really gone up much. But the thing is, Hasbro will usually let this stuff go because there is no direct competitor. The last time we really saw them go on in this, and like they didn't come down on anyone doing the Optimus because they were going to make gangbusters. Takara was going to make gangbusters on the Optimus one way or the other. Masterpiece rather. But the last time was when they were doing Masterpiece Soundwave. Do you remember that?
Yeah, a while
Fans
ago.
Toys had theirs withdrawn because that was a direct competitor for a toy that had no guaranteed markets.
Did that eventually come out anyway?
I don't think so. Like, some people are saying the Zeta Toys one is... But, like, once you have a legal cease and desist on something, I think that's that's all she wrote.
Right. Because I've heard some people say, like, give it a year and they'll be able to bring it out anyway, because it seems to be so far along the production line.
Yeah, but legally, if they're told, you fucking stop, or we will crush you, because it's Hasbro and they can, you fucking stop.
Oh, yeah.
And like, they're not going to say fucking stop with a year's leeway either way. Like, they're going to say this does not get made, and if it gets made, you are under law and you will be arrested. Because they can. They've come down on knockoffs. Like, we don't want to give them more reason to come down on third party than they need.
Yep.
Especially since it's hilarious when you see they're clearly ripping third party off sometimes.
What do you mean? Of course, no.
Combiners happened on their own. It was fine.
Same for Headmasters.
Yeah, it's fine.
Don't worry about it.
Power Masters as well. Fine, it's fine. So it was when you think about it, it was foolish because this was releasing a direct competitor, because this would take money away from HasLab's Unicron. It's not nice, and HasLab probably would have gotten Unicron funded if the rest of the world had been able to contribute to the campaign. Let's be honest. Because I guarantee you there'd be a lot more people in Europe who haven't put orders in who would have already. Particularly if there was a way of doing it without paying ridiculous markup prices. Like there's no excusing some of the markup prices that some of these retailers are looking for on Unicron. I'm sorry, there just isn't. So yeah, it's like, I don't think it's a dick move to stop Zeta Toys making it. I do think it's a dick move to make it hard for anyone who's not in the US to get hold of the toy. So, but Andy, what's your thoughts on this?
On Zeta Toys Unicron being taken out. I mean, I think it's a shame because from my perspective, I think I mentioned this last week. I preferred the look of the Zeta Toy one. Still wasn't going to be something I was going to buy, but I think I like the look of it a lot more. But Hasbro's well within their right to do it, legally speaking. And is it a bad time to bring out this, or at least announce the Unicron? Yeah, maybe wait a bit. Like once it comes out, then maybe you've put it out.
I think, like, they were going, the Unicron Wars have begun. I think we saw the end of the Unicron Wars pretty damn fast.
Yeah, it's called a lawyer.
I think there's probably... I would not be shocked if a few companies had a Unicron waiting in the wings to announce. And I would not be surprised if you don't hear about them until 2021. If
not waiting in the wings, then at least on the production line, whether it's the design phase of it or whatever. Yeah, I totally... I think you might be right there. I think it might just be a case of, okay, we'll wait... And then once it blows over, we'll put ours out. Yeah. Because, I mean, that's what happened with the Masterpiece Soundwave. No, they don't give a shit if you put out a Masterpiece Soundwave now.
No, God, no. I think there has been a couple out.
Oh, yeah. Fans Toys, I'm almost positive, have done one or are doing one. Because I know we talked about one fairly recently. So, yeah. It's a shame, because it did look nice, but, never mind. Is anyone saying that Hasbro are the worst for doing this? Because I imagine there are people.
No, Andy, people would never do that.
Oh, you're doing that thing where you're being sarcastic because you've seen it a lot.
You.
No.
No, it's like Face Off, but much more annoying.
I don't think I'd want to do a Face Off with you.
You'd be better looking.
The bar's not high, Mikey.
Wait. Who does that insult?
Yes, it does.
I'm confused.
But yeah, Zeta Toys. Yeah. Oh well, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
It is what it is. Anyway, take us on.
Sure. We've got Transformers. Sorry, not Transformers. These are Transformers. This is Transform and Rollout TR-02 Commander of the Stars. Which is a Cybertronian Optimus Prime colored renders. Though I feel we've talked about this before. Have we? Or have we not?
I don't think it was colored renders. I think we saw some prototypes.
Okay, well, we've got some colored renders. I don't think we'd seen him without the armor on, because this is a Galaxy Convoy, so he's got the armor, and then he's not got the armor.
Which is also reminding me how much I really hate looking at this thing without the armor on.
Really? I don't mind it.
I've never liked, it's mostly the head, to be completely honest.
Is it because he has a partial faceplate?
It's that, but it's like the colors do not complement it.
What do you mean?
Well, like, the partial faceplate kind of worked with Primal because you had grey on black.
Yes.
Now you've got grey and there's just like this blue bit in the middle, and it looks like someone's just sort of sliced off part of his face.
Would it be weird if that was his mouth, though? Like the
it
grey
makes
bits?
Less sense here because he's got a proper faceplate that goes on over it.
Yeah.
So it's like Primal's was like, oh, if I flick my head, a faceplate fills the gap. Mm-hmm. This is just like, hey, we know Optimus Primal was popular. Let's use that design choice.
Yeah.
But and also like I always like the proportions of this toy, but it's really like he's never right until he looks completely insane.
I don't from these CG renders, I don't think the proportions look awful on the non-super mode.
I just think that this you never got this toy and then not have him in the super mode.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. That's like getting the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers thing and being like, I'm not gonna have them in the Megazord form.
I want the Triceratops specifically.
The rest of them can go in the toy box.
The rest of you can go for fuck hell. You go in the toilet.
Oddly
You
enough,
go
I
in the
think,
toilet, Pteranodon. You can stay there and you die.
I think the only Megazord that could work with would be the Shogun one, right? Since they were all robots as well.
There's, let's see. There's Shogun, Super Zeo, Super.
Oh
Turbo?
yeah, Super Zeo.
No, Rescue. Turbo had Rescue. There must have been other ones.
They're not many. A lot of them are just vehicles or animimals. Animimals.
There's usually at least one humanoid one for the the 5 seconds of fight scenes.
Yeah, it's usually the red one.
Yeah, unless it's like dinosaurs, in which case there's a practical Tyrannosaurus suit and everything else is CG.
Or everything else is just shit, like the Triceratops and Saber-toothed Tiger and the Pterodon. Pterodactyl, whatever.
I'm trying to think now.
I don't think there's much.
Kind of Galaxy had 2 humanoidy ones.
The monkey and the Ghidorah one.
Garuda.
The Condor.
I know it was Garuda in Japan.
Well, that makes sense.
It was a condor in it was a condor in Bode. It doesn't look like a condor.
You're
it
a
looks
condor.
like Rodan.
Well, back onto Optimus Prime. Mikey, I know how you get aroused
Call me
by
a condor.
I did.
I'm not endangered.
Aren't you?
Oh no. Doofus will find me.
That's right.
The most deadly piñata of all.
We'll talk about that later. Now, as I was saying, Mikey, I know how you are sexually aroused by statistics and numbers, so let me tell you about the stats of this figure, right?
Go ahead.
24 centimeters tall in robot mode, and 28 centimeters tall when combined in super mode. But don't just finish off yet, because the fire truck mode will be 36 centimeters long, 10 centimeters wide, and 7 centimeters tall. I'm sure the people in the house are going to be pleased with that sound.
I love Alien.
I love Alien.
I rewatched that today.
It's a good one.
I didn't watch the review, I should point out.
Oh, no.
I just rewatched I Love Alien.
It's a good bit. So remember, these are all early CG renders, so they might not look like the finished product. There's not a huge amount of liberty taken with the design. I guess the newest thing is he seems to have like flip out shoulder cannon things, which aren't flipped out in
Are
the
those
images.
cannons? I thought they were like the attachments for the. Yeah, no, those aren't. I don't think those are cannons, are they?
Do you not think they'll flip up and there'll be like little cannons underneath them? Because you can see that there's a red bit over the top and then there'll be something grey in between there.
But aren't they where the fire engine hoses go?
I don't think so.
They're the attachment point for the fire engine.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
The big railgun hoses, I should say.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it might be that something flips out of there so they can connect onto
underneath
the big
because
dumb guns.
Yeah, and they also I don't think those are going to swing out underneath like the old ones did. So
yes, I think that's where I was getting confused because I was remembering the old toy where, like you say, they did just kind of swing out from underneath.
It was so awkward as well. It was great fun, but it was awkward. Like
yes,
you had to have them pointing forward.
A lot of that figure was fairly awkward, though. To be fair, delightful, but definitely
amazing
awkward.
Fun. But
yeah. Do you have any other thoughts then on this figure, Mikey?
I like it. I like talking proportions. I like the slimming down, the less toy accurate vibe.
That's wise, very wise.
I think that's a good idea, and I think it's something the cartoon should have done.
They didn't, though.
They did not.
To be fair, a lot of those CG models were fucking clunky, but they were less clunky than Superlings or Energons. Far less clunky.
They were less everything than Super Link and Energon.
Yeah,
everything about those shows were terrible.
There was no goose stepping, which was always an unfortunate thing from
the Ironhide Squad.
Yeah, I do.
Remember how valuable they were?
No. No, I don't. I remember RC appeared.
Did she? Oh,
she
yeah,
did.
for the Girls Beat the Boys episode.
She was in there before that as well. She was the leader of the Omnicons.
Was she?
Omnibots?
Because all I remember is there's an episode where they're in a race and RC wins being ridden by random anime girl in far too tight a jumpsuit.
Mika or
There
something, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, no, she was in beforehand. She was the leader of the you know how the Decepticons had the Ravage and the bird and
Yeah.
and the Autobots had the Signal Lancer and the jet guy and the truck dude. You can tell they were really memorable fucking characters. She was the
Yeah.
leader of them, from what I remember.
Right.
It was lame. Anyway,
Um,
Mikey, do you want to take us on to some Japanese news?
Yeah, so, boat as no surprise and as great surprise, I suppose. Not long after reveal of Lio Convoy, it's been announced we're getting MP38 Plus, which is Burning Convoy, which is the red repaint of Optimus Primal. For anyone who doesn't know, in the Beast Wars second movie, at the end of it, using the power of their matrices, their Energon matrices, because they don't have Matrix of Leadership, they have the Energon Matrix. Lio Convoy and Convoy, who is time travel, a transported back to the future Optimus Primal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, Beast Wars Megatron was supposed to be in it, but Galvatron fucked up.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah. And by using the Matrix, they got power-ups into Flash Lio Convoy and Burning Convoy. So
Beat a Neo Unicron, was it?
Majin Zarak.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, it was a big space. It was like a space boat that turned into a giant thing. That was
I remember it was a big thing, but I couldn't remember if it was based off the Beast Wars Neo Unicron design.
No,
or
this
not.
predates that.
Okay.
And it had like a little pirate steering wheel.
Yeah.
And Galvatron was like that up there all the time, going
Yeah.
So this was a repaint power up. Lio Convoy was yellow, Convoy was red. So we are getting a Burning Convoy, and to the surprise of Sun, I'd say he is going to be translucent red. It does kind of work because they both had this weird unheavenly glow.
Yep.
So basically put a light behind him, you've got show accuracy. He comes with the sword accessories he did before. The rest is just, it looks like he's going to be a bit of a lighter load. He's also a bit cheaper than a lot of recent masterpieces. He's only $120.
I guess that's because he's got less accessories and is based on an older figure at this point, right?
I'm genuinely, though, considering he is a Takara Tomy Mall exclusive, I would have expected that to have made up a lot more of the price, but
yeah, I could have seen that, yeah.
he's going to be out in March 2020, so if you're interested, get onto your third-party retailers and your middlemen's and whatnot, and see if you can get hold of him, or your Amazon Japans. Andy, what do you think? And do you think this is hinting we may see a Flash Lio Convoy in the future?
I mean, I think we talked about that when Lio Convoy came out, though, didn't we?
We did, but I'm sure someone's like, no, it couldn't happen.
Well, they're wrong. Because it's an easy repaint to do. People might also be going, well, why is he translucent? Because the original Burning Optimus Primal figure was translucent as well. So, that's the reason why it's translucent again. What's that, sorry?
Good luck finding one today.
Yeah, you can. I don't know how...
Don't look at it directly.
I don't know how crackable he is. I'm not sure. Probably as crackable as Flash Convoy. Flash Lio Convoy, which will be coming. I tell you what I don't like about this design. I don't like his golden lips. They're very off-putting.
Yeah.
We were just talking about how that facial design doesn't work on Galaxy Prime. It doesn't work here with the light blue face, the grey faceplatey bit, and then golden lips. Like he's been kissing Beachcomber from the Golden Lagoon episode.
Shoot him everywhere but the face, he'll take it.
No, don't shoot my delicious lips.
They're so fluffy.
Why did he only cut his lips? So he could finally beat Overlord at something.
Yep. Oh, Andy, no.
He can kiss far better than Overlord can.
I'm trying to remember. Did he actually have golden lips? I remember he had golden hands, but
He
yeah, he did.
probably
Oh,
did, yeah.
I'm looking at the character model. Like that is a grimace. Yeah. I think this is neat. I think this is fun. I also really like the fact that now, because we already had the anime toy color version, there is a way to get like show accurate Japanese continuity Beast Wars Optimus Primal.
That's true.
In all his forms.
Yeah. If that's the way you want to go, at least, yeah.
That's the dark road you want to live.
Yeah, a little bit. I wouldn't say it's the best looking figure, but it never really was. It's more of one of those things that I remember that thing from that movie that one time. And if you want to be that collector, you can be. This is your chance to get him. So yay! Do we have a price for him?
120.
Okay, US dollars, and he's coming out in March, it seems.
Yep.
So that's something. Yeah. Was this your story or was it mine?
You're next.
All right, cool. Well, let me tell you, Mikey, about another Takara Mall exclusive. It's no surprise. It's Siege Nemesis Prime. It's the Siege Prime toy. He's just now in black and teal, as you would expect. I don't think there's a lot here to say. I'll ask Mikey about his opinion. It's coming out in March, though, of next year, obviously, for 6,480 yen, which is $59.91. So let's just round it up and say $60. Not including postage, of course. Mikey, we have seen many of Prime over the years.
Yep.
How do you think this black version of Optimus Primus came out?
I'd just like to point every single repaint of this toy looks better than the original.
Yeah.
I saw physical reviews of the animated 35th anniversary ones for him and Megatron.
Oh, people have got them, have they?
They look very good.
Have they done anything else to them?
Nope, but they still look a ton better than the main releases.
Yeah, I believe that easily.
I could be convinced.
Oh,
The original is going for €10 at my local Smith at the moment.
Jesus!
And I don't want it for that. Shockwave hasn't come down a penny, which is pissing me off. But
not surprising in a way, I suppose, since
No.
a leader box will have like 2 figures in the case, or 3 max.
Smiths doesn't know that.
I don't know.
Smiths, they're not bright.
Ooh.
They're run by monkeys.
Oh, some fucking Mikey shade.
Yeah, I think this guy looks good. I like the inclusion of the sword from the Power of the Primes figure.
Oh, that's where it was from. I wasn't quite sure.
He looks good. I think the gun is from there as well. Yeah, because that's his gun that was like you'd put a matrix in the middle of it and make a super gun.
Oh, that was dumb.
But no, I'm all up for the Nemesis Scourges. It's just hilarious to me how much it's making that original run of Siege look terrible in general.
Just our opinion. I'm sure some
a lot
people
of
out
people's
there.
opinion. A lot of
Really?
people. Let's be honest. A lot of people don't like it. Most
Do
people
they not?
don't.
I mean, I always assumed that would be the case, but I don't want to like throw it out there just in case. Like, it's actually way more people like it than don't.
No. A lot of people don't like it, which is probably why a lot of the later Siege toys have very little, if any. Not all of them, but a lot of them.
I can believe that.
It was just so few toys had it well applied, and it was such a risky idea in the first place.
It seems it was a weird choice to spend your paint app money, which is, I would assume, limited on stuff that maybe is a tad irrelevant, at least in my eyes. Especially since that's something that you can do with a brush.
Yep.
You know, it's not hard to dry brush. It's just you flick it on there and you're done pretty much. Mikey, do you want to take us away with the next bit of news, or the next 2 bits, I suppose, because it's pretty much cleanup now.
So the first one's kind of in here for a bit of posterity and more than anything else.
Posterity.
So Transformers Bumblebee received a couple of award nominations at the Saturn Awards, the 45th annual Saturn Awards. This one's taking in 2018 and 2019, so not so annual. So these are sort of the sci-fi horror fantasy equivalent of the Oscars, right?
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that because I had no idea what the fuck the Saturn Awards were.
Yeah,
none.
So they're a big deal it's like the Hugo Awards for books.
Oh, okay.
The difference is the Hugo Awards, by being a book thing, is a lot less political and charged and everything else. Whereas the Saturn Awards are basically, in many ways, the Oscars. Not many of them good.
Oh.
As you will
is that you assuming, or is that you know?
No,
for a fact?
I know.
Oh.
They're equally as political, they're equally as populist, and equally as elitist in their own way.
Okay.
Anyway, so they have multiple categories, and they have best science fiction film, and in here we had Bumblebee nominated, right?
Right.
And Best Supporting Actress, and this pissed off so many people I thought my Twitter would explode. Haley Steinfeld, who of course played our lovely leading lady in Bumblebee, and was like, oh my god, a human character in Bumblebee who I don't want to stab.
Who did she win over? Who did she win over? Who did she take the award from?
She didn't win. These are not.
Oh, she didn't.
These are.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So people were angry that she didn't win, or that she?
No, they're angry. She was called
just...
a support. She's a supporting actress. That's pissed people off because she was pretty much the main human character. So people are like, why is she supporting actress? I had a look at the Best Actress category, and I'd say, no offense to Haley, I think she's actually an excellent actress. But if she'd gone into Best Actress, she would have been up against Jamie Lee Curtis, Emily Blunt, Nicole Kidman, Brie Larson, Octavia Spencer, Lupita Nyong'o. I think she had a better chance in this category.
Yeah.
I think we can just say Bumblebee would have won Best Actor and blah. So, also, I will say the Bumblebee was not exactly up against the cream of the crop.
I mean, that makes sense.
I mean, the other nominations were Alita Battle Angel. Not a bad film, not brilliant.
It's all right.
Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom had a lot of potential, really good horror elements, dropped the ball in a lot of the writing places. Ready Player One, not good. Solo,
I haven't seen it still.
Not good.
Still haven't seen it. Don't plan to.
Yep. Sorry to bother you. An Upgrade. Upgrade, I think, sounded okay.
It was meant to be neat. I don't think it was anything special, but it was meant to be like, yeah, this is neat.
And supporting actress Haley was up against Cynthia Erivo from Bad Times at the El Royale. I've heard that. I've never seen it. Karen Gillan in Avengers Endgame.
Okay.
Amber Heard in Aquaman.
Right.
Scarlett Johansson in Endgame. Naomi Scott in Aladdin.
Okay.
And Zendaya, who played Mary Jane in Spider-Man Far From Home, which I nearly saw this weekend, but still can't make myself see a Marvel movie in the cinema.
You've seen the best Spider-Man film, you good?
Oh, we're going to talk about that in a second.
Oh, all right.
So, like I said, these are equally as political as everything else, which means it's all rigged. Let's call it a spade here. So, the best I'm just going to read out some of them. The best comic to film motion picture, right? The nominations were Endgame, Aquaman, Infinity War, Captain Marvel, Shazam, Far From Home, and Into the Spider-Verse. Andy, if you were picking the best comic to film motion picture based on the quality of the film, not your personal opinion, just the sheer quality that went into the film.
Yeah.
Which one would it be?
Go through the list again.
Endgame?
No.
Aquaman?
No.
Infinity War?
No.
Captain Marvel?
No.
Shazam?
Haven't seen it. Can't say.
Very good. Would not pick it. Far From Home?
I haven't seen it.
Into the Spider-Verse?
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Yeah. Would it surprise you if I said Endgame won?
No, unfortunately it wouldn't.
But Spider-Verse won Best Animated Film.
Oh, well, that's good.
Where it was up against The Grinch, How to Train Your Dragon 3, Incredibles 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet, and Toy Story 4.
Jesus
Christ. Best Science Fiction Film is the one that made my jaw drop.
Right.
I predicted Alita would win because it's the most artsy.
Kinda, yeah.
Ready Player One.
No.
Won. And
no.
I like the chatter is it's because it was the Spielberg.
Mm-hmm.
Except it was Ready Player One. A movie that goes, hey, do you remember? It's the Member Berries movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jamie Lee Curtis won Best Actress. I mean, she's good. But, Robert Downey Jr. won Best Actor.
But he's just being Robert Downey Jr.
He beat Chris Evans, who I think did a better job in that movie. He beat Keanu Reeves, and why is John Wick in this?
Yeah.
That's not a horror fantasy or science fiction. That's John Wick, which I haven't seen the new one, but I'm planning on doing kind of a big John Wick watch because I've suddenly refallen in love with Keanu Reeves after spending years thinking of him as a plank after The Matrix. It's like he hit 40 and he came to life.
Yeah,
which is he's become just our nerd king. Josh Brolin won Best Supporting Actor for Thanos.
Okay,
I don't mind that.
No,
not for Endgame. But he was up against Will Smith from Aladdin, so.
Oof.
Zendaya won Best Supporting Actress.
Right.
I haven't seen it, I don't know. Tom Holland won Best Performance by a Younger Actor. Who was up for that? Oh, Millie Bobby Brown was up for that for Godzilla. Godzilla was also up for a fantasy film, and I can't decide if I think it should be a fantasy film or not.
It's...
I mean...
I don't know, yeah. Is it science fiction-y? Science fiction-y,
but
kind
it's also
of?
basically everything in it is portrayed as a deity more than a monster.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's weird.
Like, the one 100% clear science fiction thing is Ghidorah's from space.
Hmm.
And but it's also like, that's Paul going like, Monster of the Goddess, and we all love her.
Though I wouldn't give massive props to Millie Bobby Brown for her role in that, as there wasn't much to do for her in that film.
She was the one that they marketed a hell of a lot. She was the Bryan Cranston of that film.
Yeah, but she didn't die.
Yeah, but I think they may suspect, like, I could see them. They got her in after Stranger Things, but they didn't realize how marketable she was, so they didn't give her a big role. Yeah, and it was just like, oh shit, she's really good. So she's in Godzilla vs. Kong, so I wouldn't be surprised if she had a bigger role there.
And I wouldn't say she was really good. I should say she was fine.
Competent. She was fine.
Yeah.
Like, she was the younger actor. Like, she's in a movie with one of the most revered Japanese actors who appear in American cinema in years, who acted everyone under the table in that film, even though he wasn't given a huge amount to work with.
No.
But that's a Godzilla film. It's not unique to King of the Monsters. That's a lot of Godzilla films. That's a lot of Godzilla films. Yeah. That's a lot of Godzilla films. That's even your precious Shin Godzilla, kids. I said it. But yeah, I wanted to bring this in, not because I wanted to have a go at the Saturn Awards, but because I wanted to point out that someone actually thought enough of the Bumblebee movie to at least use it as a filler spot in a best film section. And when you think about where the entire perspective of the franchise was as science fiction a year and a half ago, like, I think that's kind of huge in a way. And I really hope that Hasbro and Paramount keep on trucking down this new pathway. I heard Michael Bay's making a new Bad Boys movie.
Oh no.
And I think he's doing another movie with Aaron Kruger.
Oh no.
So I'm just like, let them distract themselves over there. No one feel the need to draw them in. You're fine. You're good. You're fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just wanted to throw that in. The last bit of news is that Michael McConaughey, the voice of Trax and Cosmos, will be appearing at TFCon DC in 2019 on October 25th to 27th. Eddie.
Yes.
He is joining other people like Dan Gilvezan, Paul Eiding, David Sobolov. I nearly read Depth Charge, but he's not at the thing. He's just being played by David Sobolov. Don Glut, Aaron Archer, Rick Alvarez, Alex Milne, Jack Lawrence, Casey Collar, more, and I wouldn't be shocked if someone had roped John or James or Nick in. But yeah, so that's really cool. I think he's done a couple of... It was either Auto Assembly or TF Nation.
It was Auto Assembly.
Yeah. Because he was there 1 year I was there. So he seemed like an interesting guy. It's going to be on October 25th to 27th at the Hyatt Regency Reston in Reston, Virginia. So guys, there's late bookings to be done at tfcon.com/tickets. Get in as soon as you can. Yeah. Anything you want to say about that, Andy? Are you amazed that he's presented by Agatbis?
I don't know what that means.
Is it supposed to be Abyss or Agabus? Oh, no, it is Agabus.
I don't know what that means either.
What is Agabus?
I don't know. It sounds weird.
Agabus.com. What mysteries do you hold?
Tell me of the mysteries.
Oh, it's a toy place. That's far less exciting. 404 euros. They have euro prices. 404 euros for Masterpiece Optimus Prime. Stop telling me the toy's worth that. It's not. It's objectively not. Jesus Christ on a bike. I can get an Overlord from Mastermind Creations for half of that.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyway, so Agabus, it's a toy retailer that clearly accounts for international shoppers. That's me done, really, Andy. Anything you want to add?
No, that's about it. So we'll move over and go, Mikey. What you done for this week? What you done for fun? All that kind of jazz and bobbins.
A lot of work this week, although I didn't have anything paleo related, so I got kind of not so much a week off as just like I could go home and not sit there going like I should be working.
Oh no,
I should be working. But I'm going to have that next week, so that's fun. So watched a bit. Caught up on Cyberverse, the English episodes of Cyberverse. I think it's episode 7 or 8 we're up to.
Okay.
Still a
like
good show.
like proper episodes of the half episode things.
And like the episodes, which
Okay.
for some reason, people still seem to want to pretend they're actually like, oh, this 5-minute section is an episode. No, it's not.
Ah, right.
That's Cartoon Network saying a child has no attention span. But anyway, the Australian release is using them at full episode, so everyone's watching those. But yeah, I'm still enjoying it. Still think that they're doing remarkable things with the time they have and what they're being allowed to do. They brought in the Allspark. They brought in the toy line gimmick of adding armor.
Yes.
The designs look way better on the show, and there's a narrative thing behind them, and it works. The action's still fairly good. I'm liking all the characters, with 2 exceptions. Optimus is more engaging in this than he was in Prime. And that's with what I've said has been multiple times bad voice direction. Overall, like, this show is really earning a nice little it's not a big place, but it's a little place that just like, yeah, there's people behind us who are trying. There are people behind us who are saying, I'm going to make the best product I can. And I like that. Downers. People knock the voice cast as a whole, and I think that's really unfair. I think largely you notice the inexperience more in season 1, but I think the regulars like Windblade and Bumblebee, they have completely earned their spot. I think Soundwave's voice actor is really good. Megatron's very solid. I think the guy who does Grimlock and Shockwave could go like top level professional if he wanted to.
Oh wow! Okay.
Like he does a really good job at both of those characters. And I know there's vocal effects on Shockwave, but it's not easy to have that kind of tone to your voice and just jump like that, especially when he was clearly recording scenes of the 2 characters talking to each other.
Yeah.
Wheeljack is also really good. The Seekers are like Clobber and Lockdown are very endearing, like good vocal performances. But there are 2 characters who, oh my god, do you hear the I am not a union voice actor, I was in the office at the time. And that is Hot Rod and Cheetor.
Oh, right.
Unfortunately have gotten a lot of dialogue, especially Cheetor, and one, he's given kind of Optimus Prime kind of a speech pattern, except it's being done by a voice actor who's real not great at his job and is trying to do the kid-friendly bot as well, and like innocent, so he'll be delivering his lines in this weird, oh, I am having a lovely time today, friends. Are you? Hot Rod just doesn't have any range. And just is not delivering his lines. Sometimes they're okay, but he had to go like, Bumblebee, no, look out! And he's like, Bumblebee, no! Look out! And I feel it's just embarrassing when he's in a scene with actors who are probably as experienced as him, and, you know, not a huge amount, and they are kicking the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Like, and Bumblebee responds as like this really nuanced, good performance, and then he's playing off this. I if they were in recording booths together, I feel kind of sorry for the Bumblebee actor because he's not getting a lot to play it off of, you know?
Yeah.
But overall, like, I think the voice cast is remarkably solid considering their origins. Like, they're all doing the very best they can. And I genuinely, I wouldn't say no to some of them sticking around post this show. Like, if a few of them became regulars. Like, I'm really digging this take on Soundwave. Like, he is such a prick. Like, he just plays music to piss people off all the time. And if you mention it to him, he'll look at you and turn it up. But, like, some really good dialogue delivery. Also, stop killing people! You were supposed to be the happy kid show. There's a lot of dead people at the stage.
Death can be happy, Mikey.
Bludgeon's in it, and he says nothing.
Oh.
But he's like, oh, I'm cool and quiet.
It's the RID design, isn't it, for Bludgeon?
Kind of RID meets Revenge of the Fallen meets third party.
Yeah, it's a primary silhouette for Rid though, isn't it?
Yeah, but he's
Yeah.
sort of silent ninja.
Okay.
Flip-
Even though he's a samurai.
Also, weird thing, Starscream, not my favorite vocal performance, but a very interesting take on Starscream.
Okay. Yeah, because
Like
whenever I heard Starscream before, I was just kind of on it.
Yeah, it's not the best vocal performance, but the actual what they're giving him to say and like Starscream's goal, it's different. It's definitely different, and I'm liking it.
Alright. Okay.
And they're doing the smart thing of and now Starscream is not part of the Decepticons because Megatron's not an idiot, which is something not every media gets, you know.
Sure.
So apart from that, was there anything else in that regard? No anime this week again, just because of work. I can't. Do you know what? It's kind of nice in a way not to have a big list of shows that I feel I have to watch weekly.
Okay. Yeah, you should never feel like you have to watch them.
It's good to have a break from that because I tend to go through. I try everything and then I narrow down, but it's nice to just there's stuff I'll probably watch later on, but it's nice to just step back for a bit, you know. But I did catch episode 3 of Kamen Rider 01, which continues to be an enjoyable show. Some people are going like, "Oh my god, it's the best show," and I'm just like,
"It's episode 3. It's episode 3. Come on now."
All it's doing right now is laying groundwork, and you better hope it gets better than this, and this isn't the top quality.
Yeah, it's episode 3. Let's not go crazy here.
Yeah,
right?
I think
I haven't seen the show, but way too early to tell because we've seen Kamen Rider shows before that started off fairly strong and then died.
Yeah, they're shot in the face several times.
Yeah.
But I'm liking the overall tone. This one delved a bit more into how the bad guys are picking the Humagears to hack. They're hinting that some of these things are evolving beyond their programming on some level, and they're the ones being targeted, which is interesting. We also look into a bit more of the what's it mean when you can how do other people see these things, because even if they're destroyed you could back up their data, so even if it's not the same one, it's got the basic memories, or there's another model out there and so forth. New rider introduced, so we have 3 now. We have 01, Vulcan, and Valkyrie.
And is Valkyrie the lady one who goes along with Vulcan?
Yeah, and they introduce a bit more of her background, and there's a lot of mystery being built.
Does it feel like she's going to be sidelined quickly? Do you think that she's going to be kept around as an actual female rider? I
think she's going to be pretty prominent.
This will be the first prominent female Kamen Rider then?
Yeah, we all know how this usually goes. Like, Marika did her best, but God bless her.
Well, 90% of the time, they are movie characters or shunted to
very quickly
support, like Poppy.
Yeah, Poppy was cool, and then they did very little with her. And there was no reason to do very little with her. She could have been, like, a proper in the main team.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't lose her power, she didn't anything, she just didn't do much.
Yeah, the power scale just crept up on her and surpassed us super fast.
Yeah, and I think Poppy was great in the show throughout.
Oh, yeah.
But I just think, like, Kamen Rider Poppy should have been a bigger deal.
And Nico.
Yeah, well, Nico. I seem to be the only person I know who actually likes Nico as a person.
I like Nico, yeah.
But I just think Nico, right player Nico, again, she should have been Kronos. I think we all kind of agree on that.
Yes.
But no, I'm digging it a bit. We haven't learned much about the villains, but again, 3 episodes in. But another really obscure extinct organism, like a extinct squid no one will have heard of this time around, whose name is Neobelited, I think. Anything like we new form, we introduced biting shark, which I didn't actually care for.
Is that the main Riders one where he's got the green and the red on?
Blue.
Okay, because I've seen, I don't know what it is, but I've seen the main 01, but he has the yellowy green. Then on top of that is like a red, almost like bird feathers, and I don't know what that is, and it looks bit messy.
The way it works is that the yellow parts on his face, on his rider face, and his hopper face, they split. They move to the side and become like his chest piece becomes the armor on his arms.
Right.
And the head becomes the side, like you still have half a mask on either side of his head.
Yeah.
Which looks very odd from some angles.
Yeah, I imagine that could work, but not with the bright yellowy greeny color that is. So only a very few amount of colors are going to really blend with that, I would think. Yeah,
it doesn't work too bad from the front. It's just when you see him from other angles. And also, I don't think they really took it, like biting shark. like they have a big thing where they have to make a new progress key, and being able to make a progress key is suddenly a big thing, and just like, hang on. But
for now, it's a big thing.
No, I think it might be a big thing for a while because they give a narrative thing like this shouldn't be happening.
Okay.
So, but it's like, oh, this is how you beat them, and the shark form, they don't really give it any cool powers.
Oh.
It just fights.
Oh.
But one notable thing, we got the intro finally.
Oh, cool.
We hadn't had the intro. It's a good intro. It's a very solid intro, and this is one of the reasons I think Valkyrie's staying around, because she's very, very prominent in it.
Okay.
Also some hints. There's some characters in there we haven't seen yet. One in particular I think is particularly interesting. And yeah, a couple of extra riders already being hinted at. And they had a leak this week confirming another rider. So we're getting at least 6 out of this show, which I ain't complaining about. But no, I'm enjoying it. I'm getting into it. I think the actor is coming into his performance a bit better. He's getting the balance a bit more right, and yeah, I wanna keep watching it. And there's one more notable thing, but I know you watched it, so I'll leave it to you as well.
Oh.
But I started playing Final Fantasy 15.
Yay!
Largely because I wanted to, because I hadn't seen the gameplay videos for 7, and I was assuming that 7 would basically just have 15's combat system.
Right.
So I wanted to get a vibe for it, you know? And I have been fairly critical of the game, I will not lie.
You mean for 15?
For 15, yeah.
Okay.
I'm 10 hours in now. For a Final Fantasy, I have never played one which is so light in plot. Like, it's remarkable in a way. I have no idea who these characters are.
They're pretty boys in a car.
I hate the car. I really hate that car.
What do you mean? It's the time you spend together with the characters?
Do you know what I use it for? Fast travel. And you know what you can't do? Fast travel to every area.
No, I've heard about that. As soon as I heard that, I was like, this sounds so tedious and such a weird way to stretch out the length of the game.
And there are parts of the game where you can't fast travel. You can't manually drive the car. So your options are to run or just get in the car and let basically an extended cutscene play out.
But nothing is happening, right?
There's talking. There's talking that means nothing.
I heard about this and it just sounded ridiculous. I was like, wow.
It is.
Have you ran out of gas much?
No.
Okay, that's good, because I've seen people push that car for miles and it's like, oh my god.
Like, if that happens, I'm just getting Cindy to deal with it. Cindy. Oh, there's this weird thing where so far most of the people you meet are these southern rednecks. Like, and I mean that in the stereotypical way, not the I'm insulting people from the South America. I mean, like, look at me in my trucker hat. I'm in my trucker hat and my trucker stop. And Cindy is like, I'm in my trucker hat and my trucker stop. And my shirt doesn't zip all the way out. Look at these. Look at them, because you can't look away because the camera won't let you. I'm assuming she seems to just sort of pop up constantly, so I'm assuming she's a bigger deal than she is at the moment.
She's a chocobo.
Oh god, I have just gotten chocobos.
Okay.
And they're fun for what they are. I'm not sure they have any real point in the game, except that they're basically a way of off-roading, but apparently, like, there's an off-road version of the car. So I don't know what the chocobos do. Apparently that's a patch that came in after the game's release, that you got an off-road car, which made the chocobos redundant. I don't know. The gameplay is, like, the game opens up with a sign saying, for fans and first-timers. And I know very well which one of those they were aiming at, and it ain't the first one. This game basically starts with a very light plot opening, and then you basically have minimum 2 or 3 hours where all you really have to do is light. You either rush to a major point, which you can't because it's so far away, or you do a bunch of hunting missions and a bunch of resource gathering. This is being made to say, hey, you're not a fan of JRPGs, you're not a fan of Final Fantasy, you play Horizon Zero Dawn, you play Fallout, you play those kind of games. Come to us. Look what we've got. We've got your game, but with people from Japan. And I genuinely think that's why there's truckers in it. To make it feel like grounded. To draw in normal people. And they even have like a multiplayer option. An online multiplayer version of the game.
Is it a co-op mode or something?
It was an add-on where basically you just download and you play it as an MMO.
Oh.
And I It's bizarre. No, it's bizarre. The combat system, it's very action orientated. One button kind of action. You can swap weapons around. Magic is largely redundant unless you want to just do a big area effect damage. And I find the combat system very shallow because I'm basically hitting the attack button and waiting for the screen to say square, so I dodge. And also, you have no control over the side characters, the other 3 party members.
No, none at all. Is it one of those? Is it a Persona 3 kind of idea where you give them ideas of what you want them to do?
No, they just do their own thing. There's a team up attack they can do, which you can activate every now and then, but they just do their own shit. You can arm them. That's it. So I largely ignore them until I get a message like, "Oh my god, he's down," and I just give him a potion, and then he's up, and then you just ignore him again. It is a fun combat system. It has to be said. It's just very shallow, and very much not Final Fantasy. Now I've just hit where I think the plot is kicking off. Again, 5 to 10 hours in is when this started. Oof. In a Final Fantasy. Like, I've never had this experience with this franchise, and I've been into this franchise for a very long time.
Did the one with Lightning take this long? Because
no.
I know the one with Lightning took a long time as well to get into.
It laid out the world, it laid out their world building, it laid out the main characters. We had a baseline to work on within 2 hours.
Right, it was just the hand-holding didn't stop for hours and hours. Okay,
no, I had to turn off hints in this game, so I don't know if hand-holding is going to continue. But I got, again, it had that, like, hey, you're a casual, let's get casual.
I'm not casual. I'm old. I've been playing these for years.
Yeah, I have played literally all of them.
I might be old. I might be older than the people that made this game now.
I hope not, because that means they started making it they were like 20. No, they were younger when they started making it.
Oh, did it take a while to make this one, did it?
Yeah. Oh god, this game has a whole history for...
Does it? Oh, right,
yeah.
Okay.
We
don't need to know about it.
It started in 2006.
Ooh.
But I want to get more into it. I've seen some of the cutscenes, so I know summons are a big plot point in this. I think the nature of the game is going to change. I just think that it was just like, I should not in a Final Fantasy be having that thing of, well, I've been playing for a few hours. Was there a plot?
Yeah, don't worry about that, Mikey.
The whole point is that there's a plot, and side quests are there, and I love side quests in a Final Fantasy game. But they're there. There was always that, listen, you are supposed to go here. Now, you can take time to do all these other cool stuff. You can breed your chocobos. You can do all this caboodle. But we're just reminding you, you're supposed to go here, and it is here now.
So would you say it's better than Horizon Zero Dawn's kind of structure, I suppose? Where it was like you have to do the side stories and put the main story on hold.
I would say at least Horizon spent the first hour to an hour and a half really laying at least a baseline for the characters.
Right.
And this doesn't do that. Like I said, if it kicks off now, I'm going to be... It could be like next week, I'm just like, oh my god, the story here is so good. But we're like 10 hours in, and I have not been hanging around, but 10 hours in, it's a little embarrassing. But then I watched the gameplay for 7. I thought like, oh no, this looks much better. Like,
yeah, I was going to ask you what you thought of 7 stuff, because I watched the 7 demos and whatnot, which was apparently the demo from E3. It was just released to
but then they did apps as well. They did the apps boss fight.
I saw that.
That was new. I think the combat system looks much better.
I'm still concerned about. Well, not concerned, but I'm not sure it's for me still. I don't know. Yeah,
I think it's got like, I like the idea that the physical combat is basically there so you can get to, you don't have to do the pause and strategic thing, but it's kind of built around it.
Yeah, like if you shortcut everything, then you don't need to touch that menu at all, apparently.
Yeah, but like if you shortcut anything, you're probably missing out on 80% of your abilities.
Who knows?
When you just think about how many buttons you have to shortcut.
Potentially. I mean, we won't know until the game comes out, I guess.
Yeah, but they've already confirmed, like, you can have minimum 4 or 5 skills plus 3 or 4 materia slots in your first boss battle. Yeah. Like, if I had that in shortcut, that would be hard to be... I will completely use the time battle kind of menu. I will absolutely stick to it. Because also, I think that's kind of the point... Probably. Because it's strategic. It gives you that moment to pause and go, like, what am I doing here? What needs to be done? What abilities am I using? And that's core to a Final Fantasy. That's core to a JRPG. And I want to see that. I like the summons. I like how summons seem to work in it. If they are making narrative changes, I'd like them to make summons kind of matter. Because I think it's the only Final Fantasy where summons have no plot relevance.
No, they're just there.
Well, because, like, the first two didn't have summons, obviously, but...
Because they're not even, in 7, they're not even, like, referred to as deities or anything special.
No,
it's just, like, it's another materia.
They're not even, like, referred. Like, they don't... As far as you know, the characters don't even know they're doing it.
Yeah.
So I would really like... Because they've said they're making some narrative changes. They're adding stuff. They've said they're not taking stuff out. But they are adding stuff. So I would really like if they're like... Okay, someone sort of pauses and go like, did that just happen?
Yeah.
Because I think if you're summoning a gigantic fire demon, you should probably have a moment where you go like, he's over there now.
I talked about this with you. I'm still a little bit wary about what they will add, and that's mainly because of the things that they have added to the Final Fantasy lore before have been
up and down.
Down. Minor ups, lots of downs though. Lots of downs. Like Advent Children,
I love it.
Eventually got good.
I still love the movie, but I'm also like
not the first version.
Complete is a big improvement, and it's one of the few films I would say is like editing it made it better. Yeah,
because let's be fair, the first version of Advent Children was a fucking mess.
It was basically half a movie.
Yeah, a fucking mess.
And then they just said like, we could just add in the bits we clearly already scripted.
Yeah,
and someone went, we can do that.
And I'd only kind of rate Advent Children as it's okay.
Oh, I love it, but I'm like I
like
am
it
like
visually.
An obsessive of Final Fantasy VII, so like
yeah, I liked it visually and I liked some of the fights and stuff, but story wise, I was just kind of like,
It's unapologetic, is how I always described it.
Yes, yeah.
Then you had Dirge of Cerberus.
Woo!
I mean, it's okay. It's an okay game.
Ooh, no,
okay.
No.
It's like it's better than a lot of Japanese anime shooters.
That's not a compliment. Jesus.
I mean, some of the plot stuff it does is...
Let me tell you, I would rather play 50 Cent Blood on the Sand than Dirge of Cerberus. But I would also mention that 50 Cent Blood on the Sand was a legitimately fun, if stupid, game.
And then there's a couple of anime stuffs, which were okay.
You ignore them.
What was it? It was before...
Crisis. Do you mean Crisis Core?
No, not Crisis. Before Crisis, it was the anime version of the Midgar... not Midgar, the Nibelheim incident.
All right, okay.
That was actually pretty fun. It's only 20 minutes long, but it's fun.
But that's just a retelling. It's not really adding anything. So.
And then there's the child character from Advent Children. There's an anime showing how he met Cloud, which was okay. It says a lot. I can't remember his name. And then Crisis Core, which I've never played, but Genesis, just watching playthroughs with Genesis. I like the bit where Sephiroth kicks his ass.
He is 1000% gacked. And he is at the end of Dirge of Cerberus.
He is, which really made you think they had another game planned.
It made you think that they had an idea for something, but maybe the fact that they licensed the look to gacked was probably the thing that stopped that. And will be, thankfully, a reason why we'll never have anything Genesis related again.
Maybe. What if they just change his look?
I don't know if they would.
Like Genesis,
I hope
Genesis.
They just get rid of that.
You don't look anything like the pictures. No, I don't.
Maybe they make him look like Genesis from Botsmaster.
I don't know.
That's a throwback.
From what I saw from the flavor text, at least, they're not going crazy. Now, we've only seen a little bit, but
yeah. It's hard to know. It's hard to know if you're going to get someone reserved or someone who just wants to go, I don't want to say extreme Japanese, but Japanese ham, which has been known to happen in Final Fantasy games. And other forms of media before, but you need a specific slice of ham to go into Final Fantasy and make it work.
Yeah, and this is...
It needs to have the right feel.
7 is open for much ham, it has to be said, no matter how much.
Sure, totally.
Like, I love... Up until Steins Gate, my favorite game of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But we all remember she's Aerith, by the way, in the dub now. But her dying, we remember the moments with Tifa and Cloud. Tifa, Cloud for life. Been shipping them since I was young. We remember the Sephiroth
You know what
scenes.
that game is, Mikey? It's ReZero.
Oh, no.
He chooses bad girl.
No, he doesn't have a choice. The other girl dies. So he's, like, by Advent Children, he's basically in a mildly abusive relationship with the right girl because he's ignoring her prolifically because he's like, I let everyone else die. We could hang out. I let everyone else die.
I'll buy you a drink.
You're living in my house, in my bedroom. I let everyone die.
I'm going to be taking a long soapy bath alone. If you happen to walk in, I'll be okay with it.
Yeah, maybe you could bring
I
me
gotta
towels.
I gotta go to the tower and mope. I gotta drive on my motorbike off to the hill and be sad.
Oh no, I fell on the bed and my breasts have just flopped right out.
My life is torment. Everything is sadness. That was another thing I wasn't a big fan of Advent Children.
Yeah.
Super sad, mopey
It
Cloud.
was slightly reversing the character. I mean,
It was.
It made a bit of sense, but it was like he ended up in a good place at the end, and I don't think we necessarily needed him having PTSD again.
It's where the character, they could have taken it from 0, which is like normal Cloud, to like 3 or 4 depressed for letting Aerith die. Well, not letting her die, but and going through all that. But they went all the way up to 10.
Yeah,
I would say.
At the end of it, he's basically back to where he was at the end of the first game. Which
it's bizarre.
I'm totally okay now, and he probably did go off and do many filthy things to Tifa, and fair play.
Maybe
Fair play. It happened. My world, my rules.
my fic.
Yeah, like again, the other one's dead.
Mm-hmm.
What you gonna do? But yeah, one thing I will say, they seem like if they're including stuff like the cross-dressing and the gym scenes, they are definitely sticking close to the original script as much as they can. So that means they basically just all they have to do is not fuck up something that wasn't fucked up.
Yeah,
which we can only hope.
I still think it's going to be what I would describe as a you almost come moment. Like, it's like the game's giving you it. It's like, oh, you're loving this game, aren't you? Oh, and it's the end of Midgar. We're done. See you later.
That is so weird. I mean...
Yeah, it's going to completely destroy the pace of the game because it would be fine if you've never played Final Fantasy VII before. And it'd be fine.
Yeah,
but because it's meant to keep going and you know what the rest of the story... Well, at least we do as old people. Yeah. And we know what the rest of the story is to then just go... You're done is going to be such a buzzkill.
I was just thinking, like, so you're playing the game, right?
Yeah.
You've had all the little Sephiroth flash scenes, those ones as you're going through Midgar.
Yep.
And oh my God, Genova's missing her freaking head. God, hope he says frickin'. Red 13's just been introduced in a scene where he was being told to fuck Aerith.
Yes.
And was just kind of like, I was going to molest you to throw Hojo off his guard.
Yeah. Maybe change that a little bit. I don't know.
So in the original game, you then have the visit to the Calm Village where you get the backstory of Sephiroth, and this all makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
But presumably this will end just after they leave Midgar?
Maybe.
Which
maybe
means
we're not really sure.
If you're playing this game, who the fuck is Sephiroth to you?
It's the way I would best describe this as is the Hobbit movies.
Oh, I hope
especially
not.
The first Hobbit movie, because you get to that point and you're like, oh, it's over. Oh, huh. Or you get to the end of the second one and you're like, oh, it's over. There's Smaug. Oh,
and then you get to the start of the first one and or the third one and go, what?
Yeah. So
but
it's gonna be weird.
I'm really curious what they're adding to Midgar because
sure.
They've got to be... There's padding.
Well, there's a day section there. We know that for sure because you see a bit of... you see the gym and you can see light coming in from the outside. So that whole... Whatever that section's called, that's going to have a day-night cycle of some description.
It's Sector 5, I believe. But
sure.
But that makes me... Or is it Sector 4? It makes me kind of curious because presumably that means there's an artificial lighting, which there never was before. And that was kind of a point. A lot of people have never really seen, night or day.
Yeah.
If they're living under the plates.
But there was clearly some sort of bright, sunlight coming from the outside. Not like a street light.
No, but I'm assuming
it was bright.
I'm assuming what they're going to go with, look, there's an artificial bulb in the sky.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But Final Fantasy VII, it's going to be weird.
I'm looking forward to it in all honesty, but I am not going to go crazy with my expectations until I'm in 6 hours in. I'm just going like, ah. Like, I do like the bit where Shinra showing up at the factory is now a hologram.
That's smarter. A lot better idea.
Because, you know what wasn't bright on his part? Walking up to the terrorists.
Yeah.
And going like, I'm going to ruin your lives. What are you going to do about it?
Especially with one who has a gun arm.
Yes, and hates you.
Yeah.
Specifically you.
Yeah.
Here's a question. Will Red 13 wear his little sailor suit and dance in the boat?
We won't have to think about that until, I guess, the next game comes out, but you should fucking hope so.
Yeah. And I want
And Barrett's will have to be uncomfortably tight.
Yes. And Yuffie throwing up everywhere.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Like, Vincent's gonna be weird.
I would get, for her Japanese voice actress, I'd get Megumin's voice actress to play her.
Yeah.
I think that could work. I don't know who you do for the English one. I don't care. Because I'd play it in Japanese.
Voice actress.
Well, from the English dub.
She's not, on the level, but she's very much like, she knows what she's doing.
Okay.
And
all right.
Because I've always, like, if you picture it, I would say Yuffie is more an Aqua of just like, everything's going wrong!
Yeah, I can see that.
But no, I want it to succeed, and
oh sure.
But final, we never know. Wait and see.
Yeah.
Just don't be Horizon Zero Dawn.
I don't think it will be that.
No, I think people give a shit this time.
Yeah.
Not to shit on Horizon Zero Dawn, but I've gotten this urge to do that lately.
Yeah, you have.
That posthumously, that game is getting real negative vibes from me. Like, anyway,
anything else?
No, that was me. So that was a ramble. What about you, Andy? What was your week?
Well, today I watched Detective Pikachu for the first time. Have you seen Detective Pikachu?
I haven't, because I can't stand Ryan Reynolds anymore as a voice actor.
He is... Then you won't like this movie, because he is very much Ryan Reynolds in this movie. Throughout the entire movie, he is very, very Ryan Reynolds. I didn't mind it. I was thinking to myself, like, how would I stack this up again? Like, this is... You're going to get a lot out of this if you're a Pokemon fan. Like, if you're a deep Pokemon fan, I think you can enjoy this quite a lot. If you're a casual Pokemon person who likes them and thinks they're fine, like me, who isn't that involved, I was like, this is okay. I think it was better served than, say, the Transformers movies have been for years. So there is that to it. Did I think it was better than Bumblebee? It's probably around the same kind of quality, I think. It's probably around the same. The worst thing is, like, some Pokemon have teeth. Like human teeth.
I was going to say,
it's weird.
Is there a lot of nightmare fuel in this?
Sometimes. There is sometimes a little bit of creepiness. There was one specific bad CG moment as well where whatever the main character was, Will Smith's other son, Hans... What? I think it's his other son. I'm not sure. He puts the detective little hat on Pikachu, and it's like, ooh, one of these things is not like the other. It looked really wonky. And it's not a deep plot. It's definitely made for kids in terms of its plot and its characters and all that kind of jazz. And there's, of course, that point where Pikachu goes, "We can't be friends. We've got to split apart, because that's what happens in these kind of buddy movies where there's some kind of misunderstanding about something, and then we need to split up. But then by the end, we all come together and we fight the evil together." I'm like, okay, this is what you would expect. It's not terrible. It's not great. I thought it was a fine kind of thing to sit down and eat my food to.
It's in continuity.
Apparently so. And Matt told me this on Twitter, and I said, it feels like that makes so little impact, because what the fuck is plot in Pokemon?
True. But
like,
apparently,
really?
I was kind of like, why would you ever do this? But there was a character from the anime in it, I'm told.
Is there?
I don't want to say who it is, because I know because of spoilers, but the big guy at the end of the movie, who may or may not be a well-known anime character from the very first movie, is the same one that... that is apparently the same one that's in
Yes.
the anime.
Yeah. It's the same one. It takes place after that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, that it's real light because you could just go, yeah, whatever, and just kind of throw it away. To say it's in continuity with that movie is just like a, well, I guess, okay. Yeah, it's fine. The Pikachu's quite cute and he looks fluffy. They do some good effects where he gets dirty throughout the movie. He has a heal beam shot at him because he's dying for some reason. The heal beam also de-dirts him, which I thought was funny. The bad guy's plan is like it's insane. It's insane. He's not even megalomaniacal or anything like that. He's presenting it like this is a really rational, and it makes like I'll tell you about this when we finish the podcast. But I was just watching this movie going, no one would be happy with this. He presents it like people are going to be like all for this, like, yeah, this makes a lot of sense, and it's just no one's going to be happy. This is going to destroy everything. No. No. So yeah, Detective Pikachu. It's perfectly fine. It's not a great film where you'll sit down and you'll be like, oh, I've had an experience. I've had an emotional experience. My ideas of the world have been changed or expanded or anything like that. But for that kind of like young demographic kind of popcorn movie, you won't slit your wrists in the cinema while watching it if you saw it in the cinema.
That's a high recommendation from Andy.
It is, because let's be fair, there are movies that people go to where I would be like, oh my god, I'd rather kill myself. A lot of them are really bad children's movies, like the Emoji Movie, for instance.
I refuse to see that on principle that it looks atrocious.
Because you'd kill yourself. Because it would be faster. I haven't finished it, but I've been going through. Oh god, I can't remember the full title. So, Rascal Bunny Girl Dreams. I do it too, Senpai. Me and you. You know that one.
Is that the
Rascal
one where she's invisible?
Rascal Dreams of Bunny Girl Senpai, I think is what it's called.
I've been meaning to watch that because people said it was weird and good.
Yes, I would describe it as, yes, it is weird and good. I would also compare it, not one-to-one, but compare it to the disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya, apart from it doesn't punch you in the face saying, fuck you, for how many episodes was it just repeating the same episode?
Oh my god.
7? 8?
Least. Oh my god.
And that's why I never forgave that anime, because I thought it was I'm sure I remember thinking it was okay at first, and then I hit that and I was like, the anime's screaming fuck you at me, the person watching. I can't believe people watch that show week by week. I can't.
Tried because
I
tried when it started. I never made it through the end.
I don't blame you. It's the same. Well, it gets to a point where it's literally the same episode from different camera angles, and it's like someone said to me, it's proving a point, it's setting a tone. It's like, but it's the same fucking episode. For this, if you do that twice, it's like when you're doing a joke, you do the same thing like 3 times and then no more. I'd say that's even too much for a 30-minute episode when it's each week. But this is the same idea in concept. So people will go through adolescence and they'll have an adolescent syndrome happen to them. So Bunny Girl Senpai, she was a child star and she didn't want to be noticed on the street, because people keep on taking a picture and stuff like that. The usual celebrity thing. So she stops being noticed by people and starts being forgotten. And this all happens within the first 3 episodes, and it's resolved. And then it's another case of someone doing a Groundhog's Day. They don't know how to emotionally handle the situation, so they repeat the same day over and over again, not really changing anything. They're just kind of almost stuck in not being able to cope emotionally with the thing that's affecting them. Then that's passed on, and then we have another one of a girl who has a desire to do something, but also self-hatred for wanting to do it. So she splits into 2 different people. One who will do that and the other who will not. And then there's another story about 2 sisters who want to be the other. It's not a body swap. It's their actual bodies changed to their sibling, and it was quite grotesque. As the main character views them changing back into their proper selves. It's not done like American Werewolf in London kind of idea, but you hear this horrible crunching for a second as they quickly revert back to themselves, and I'm just like, oh god, that's all of their bones reshifting. And I was like, Jesus. They're never in pain when that happens, but it's just a brief thing, and I was like, oh no, ugh. And that's as far as I've got so far. But it is good. It is. I wouldn't say it's the ball-busting, amazing show that I saw a lot of people online say it was, but I'm enjoying it for what it is. It's some maybe not sci-fi. Well, it is sci-fi, I suppose, in a sense, because they try and tack it on to logic about black holes and everything.
Oh well, so black holes make everything work.
You know, this is how it's happening because teleportation and black holes. It's the idea behind it. Fuck you. So yeah, give it a go if you like. Rascal Dreams of Bunny Girl Senpai.
Terrible. Type
that into Wikipedia. Yeah. Type that into Wikipedia and you'll probably find the Japanese title, which you can then use to get to other places. But then I also did DuckTales Season 2, Part 2 of Season 2, all those episodes, up to episode 24. The Revenge of. Yes. Damn, that's a good fucking show, Mikey.
I saw a reviewer go like, after a rough second half of Season 2. And I just went, what?
Wrong.
Were we watching the same show?
No. He was drunk. No,
This is the Louis show for a lot of it.
It is. I was thinking, is it better than Part 1? And I'm like, well, no. They're both really good, but in different ways. I don't think there was an episode I didn't enjoy. Like in Season 1, there are a couple where I'm like, this is fine, but I don't feel I need to watch it again. A lot, like, the closest one I get to that is the Doofus Party.
I like that one way more than I thought I would.
Same. Because I like the first Doofus episode, I could pass or leave it. You know, I don't need to watch that one again. But this one I thought was really good. Again, the humor was on point. It truly does sicken me how good the writing is for this show and how good the comedy is.
There's a lot of laughs.
There is. Like when I don't want to spoil too much, but I will mention the last episode where Donald is talking to a watermelon shaped in Mickey Mouse and it's doing the Mickey Mouse voice was amazing.
The end
like
of that
is
just
really
horrifying.
It really is. It's so depressingly sad. It did make me wonder though, does Mickey Mouse exist in this universe, or was Donald Duck just making up Mickey Mouse?
Well, Goofy exists.
Yeah, that's the thing. So Mickey Mouse must exist, and Donald must be remembering Mickey Mouse and just equated it to this watermelon because it looked like him, right?
Well, apparently the guy, apparently the guy who does Darkwing is the current voice of Mickey Mouse.
Oh, really? Oh, that makes sense.
So presumably that was him.
Huh, yeah. I really like... Mikey, what did you think of the Season 2 finale and, the Part 2 of Season 2?
I think it was a little heavy on Louis. But Louis was the least representative of the boys in Season 1, so I don't have a real problem with it. You just...
I'm guessing it was deliberately done just to fill him out a bit more, because he needed it.
But Lena and Webby's episode was good, especially the end with Magica, which was just glorious.
I preferred Magica in the team-up episode in Glom Tales.
Oh, yes, I love that.
Yes.
Simple Skull, what did we say?
I really hope we get more of Magica working in a children's...
Yeah, I don't want her getting her powers back. I like her this way. Glom Gold has gone from strength to strength in Season 2.
He's so good.
He is ridiculously good.
Yes.
If you'd have told me in Season 1 that I would get this into Glom Gold, like, from the start with the bet and then the funeral where he comes in dancing on Scrooge's grave, and to the Glom Tales episode, to the finale, he just is fantastic. It got really into Della as well in this run.
Yeah.
More so than I was before. Liked Donald Duck is a badass. I'm just saying it now.
Yeah. A shit upon badass.
Yep. But Penny's great. I love the finale. I love how Darkwing was very, very Darkwing.
Yes. I really enjoyed that.
And I liked it wasn't like, oh my god, Darkwing Duck. Just like, remember how the first series started and no one knew who he was? And then it was just like the police were kind of sick of him.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that was it. And then yet he's got that like idiot savant badass moment of just like, he's getting the shit kicked out of him, but it's like, no, Darkwing Duck.
He's still able to almost hold his own.
Yeah.
Kind of. Almost drunken master style. But
Beakley
instead
was
of
great.
alcohol,
Yeah.
just beating up drunk.
Concussion.
Concussion drunk,
Concussed
yeah.
master
Yeah.
style is very different. Beakley was great in that as well.
Yes.
But the second half of that just stole the show. It was just because it was just like, I don't know what this is, but I love it.
Sharkers, Mikey. Sharkers.
The Sharkers. The moment with the costume, I knew what it was before it appeared, and I just burst out laughing. But no, it's an incredibly strong show that has no right being as good as it is.
Mike and I have two concerns for the future of DuckTales. One, it'll end.
Yes, and then I will burn many things.
And two, it losing it. I hope it never loses it, but it is
It's
because I'm
always
enjoying
possible.
it so yeah, because I'm enjoying it so much, it would be a real bummer to see it like drop in quality. But I think it would. What would I prefer? Would I prefer it to be cancelled before it loses its quality, or to see it? I think I'd prefer to see it lose its quality, so it could be like, okay, it was a good idea to cancel it, rather than it cancel it at its peak.
I don't know.
I want to see it burn, so I'm never depressed about it being burnt.
Yeah,
you know?
But if it ended and they had chance to give it an ending.
Yes, I'd prefer that.
Yeah,
Certainly.
But
I don't want it to end soon.
No, God no. I'm not sure. Like, there's spin-off rumors now, and I'm not sure what my take on that is. Because there's one obvious one, and there's rumors Goofy might get something.
Yeah, I think the best way to do a spin-off is to have it not do with any of the current cast. No one in Duckburg. Have it set completely in a different location with Goofy, who isn't in the show, or with Mickey. I know Mickey and that lot have their own show, but it doesn't seem like it's connected to this series at all. Seems like it's more of its own bubble. But I don't mind it. Like, if you want to do, I think we've talked about this before, the Saturday morning cartoon universe, effectively, or world, and just kind of expand that world and have more of those characters in it, and have another spin-off show included in that, that's fine. Like, do a Tailspin. Sure, why not? Just keep the quality there of DuckTales and just transition it over. Maybe do a different show.
Yeah.
But with a similar, so it's not a direct comedy show. Maybe it's an action show. Maybe it's gargoyles. I don't know.
That I can't imagine how. Like, I would want to see that just because I'd like to see the crossover episode of, like, how.
Yes, it would be weird, but it'd be interesting to see. It is a worry to see a good show and be like, because I'm old and cynical, and I've seen things being ruined before. I don't want to see something I do enjoy ruined again. But I know a problem is, and this will always be a problem. Probably no Blu-rays released in the UK. So that, and I'm pretty sure Disney region locked them. So that means that I'll need to acquire DuckTales in a non-Blu-ray fashion, unfortunately.
Yeah. Also, merchandise-wise, so far we've got a lineup of good characters, but they're kind of good-looking figures, but not much to them.
Yes, Jai has some of them. Do you know what the most amusing thing about those figures is, Mikey?
Where he put one of them?
No, not that. They come with accessories, but
They can't hold them.
They can't hold them.
Which is a problem, I think, with a lot of toy lines.
It's a bizarre problem, because why give I said this to Jai last night. If you give, say, Scrooge McDuck a chair that he can't sit in, okay, fine. But if you give, say,
And a laser gun they can't hold.
Well, I'm thinking more like, which one's the red-hatted one?
Huey.
Huey. If you give Huey the woodchuck guide, but he can't hold the woodchuck guide.
Why does he have the woodchuck guide?
Yeah, it's a weird choice. It's weird.
Yeah, but even then, they've done Scrooge, Glomgold, and Webby, and I would like a Scrooge, Glomgold, and Webby.
Yeah.
And I would like this line to continue and do many other things.
Yeah. Got Magica in there.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't really want the boys because I like the boys.
But
they're not Scrooge, and they're not Glomgold, and they're not Webby,
No.
who's amazing.
No. I'm sorry, David Tennant. I don't care about anything you've done now.
No one does.
Only him.
I barely even care about Genlock, and I love them in Genlock.
Doctor Who? Exactly.
Yeah.
Doctor Who.
Yeah, Doctor Who was him entering like the mindset to be one day Scrooge.
More like Doctor Who cares. What?
Yep.
What?
Oh, that should be a thing. That should be where people just start. There's an episode where just like Doctor Who, just like stop saying that to me.
I don't get it. DuckTales. Go on and watch it.
Oh
Seriously.
my god, yes.
If you haven't, Jason.
Yeah. Oh, you absolutely Jason. To
be fair, I might just be spreading shit about Jason, but I'm okay with that.
I'm fairly certain he hasn't. I'm fairly certain.
No, you're spreading shit about Jason.
He's a terrible person.
That's true.
Also,
I do keep telling people like Gruff and stuff, like, go and watch DuckTales. It's really good.
And what does Gruff say? Apart from like, oh god.
He keeps saying, please kill me. I'm so busy.
Yeah, no, you know what will help you live, Adam Gruffnickel? DuckTales.
Woohoo.
It will give you energy for life. None of this married life nonsense. You don't need that. You need DuckTales.
Married life nonsense.
And it will give her energy to go forward with what she's doing at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm not going to say on here because I don't know if the personal stuff has been announced or whatever. It's not, and other people's lives. But it's a really good fucking show.
It is.
And will give you energy to move through life and realize that not everything is shit in the world.
Speaking of Mr. Gruff, I did a woo-woo with him, which I need to edit and put up on Mighty Max.
That I heard you say that, and I thought that was one of the more random things.
Gruff knows a disgusting amount about Mighty Max.
Is this the toys or the cartoon?
Yes.
Is it the comic?
It's both.
There's a comic as well.
It's all of it. Yeah. Well, there was one issue to the comic.
All right.
We didn't talk about the video games, though.
I didn't know there were any.
Yeah, it was for the Super Nintendo. I think it got a Game Boy release. I'm not sure. We didn't talk about them, but we mainly talked about the show, how the show was made, stuff behind the show, and we gushed on the toys quite a bit as well by the end. So yeah, that was my week. That's I think that was everything of value that I did, apart from I got back into playing Tales of Vesperia again. So I'm continuing on with that. So, Mr. Mikey, we have one question for this week, which we're going to do when I find it, which I did have up. From Tento Mon 4. I'm going to keep it simple this week. I thought this was actually a decent question. What's the difference between bad grind and good grind in video games? I think that's a good question. Because it is granted a very personal question.
Yeah, and it's relevant to what we've been talking to lately.
Yes.
So Andy.
Yes.
You've had a bit more time to think about this.
Have I? Okay, I'll trust you.
So what's your answer?
For me, bad grind is gameplay, like unsatisfying gameplay, but repetitive. Like you're doing the same thing over and over again, but it's not an enjoyable task. A fetch quest is a really good example, mainly because that's a big time waster. Say for Final Fantasy, you have to get into a car, drive for 30 minutes in one direction, get out, pick up one thing, maybe fight, do a really small basic fight, then get back in the car and drive all the way back. That's a lot of time wasted. That isn't desperately fun. Grind that's good is something that it may be a simple task and it may be a repetitive task, but it is enjoyable. For instance, for me, a good example of that would be the Dynasty Warrior games or Fate Ixtella Link. Because the way that the combat system in that works, it can be a bit of a different situation. It's fun and it's fairly simplistic, but it's not a tedious task. And when you're getting something out of it, if you feel like you're just wasting your time, and it's not enjoyable, and it becomes the same old shtick again and again, that's when you really feel the time's kind of going by slowly. I think a good example of that as well is like when you're in an RPG, and you're not playing it just to grind for levels. You're grinding for an item drop. Like you haven't done this, Mikey, but I know in Borderlands 2 there are you know how you get your grey weapons, your blue weapons, your green weapons, and your purple weapons. Have you seen any gold weapons yet?
No.
There are gold weapons, but they are super duper limited, and you usually need to grind on one enemy a lot. a lot, and that becomes incredibly tedious when you're trying to get that one and only thing. You could use that as well for WoW. A lot of WoW was that. And some people love that shit. I never did. Mikey, what would you say for good and bad grind? Or for you at least, your personal...
I'd say good grind for me is when there feels like it's a mechanical choice. Like
what?
Sticking with the Final Fantasy thing,
Sure.
you're about to go into an area and you want to build up your levels. You spend 2 or 3 hours, or you spend a day or something, or however long you spend building up your levels, just fighting enemies over and over again. You find the high XP one, right?
Yes.
So that can be repetitive. It can be tedious. But like if you have multiple party members, you're swapping people out so they get the experience, whatever. But that is a mechanical element of the game. That is, okay, in order to progress the game, you need to build up your level system. You can try and go forward. It will not be fun for you if you do.
Yeah.
This is in here. And then there's little things peppered around. You need a break from this? Well, there's a mini game here. There's a side quest here to take your mind off it. You do need to do this element of the game, but it's a mechanical thing. It's built into the very DNA of the game you're playing, right? You picked up the game knowing this would be in it. Whereas, not to beat a dead horse, when you go to Zero Dawn or Fallout or something like that, the grind is there to eat up time.
Yeah.
It's not there mechanically. You don't need to do any of these things. Like I said, you could finish Zero Dawn in 12 hours. Absolutely finish it. It's there because we want to make sure we have this open world, and the term open world means that you have to be able to sink your time into something, and that's all it is. That's the bad grind for me, where I'm at the end of it, I'm just like, there's no fucking point to any of this. Like again, Zero Dawn, the ally grind, because you do have the option of going through multiple fairly repetitive story missions to get allies, right? For the end of the game. They do nothing at the end of the game. They do not contribute. They do not have conversation dialogues. You don't get different endings. None of them die.
They were just there for XP, right?
They weren't even there for XP. They're just there.
Oh no.
Like you see you pass them as you're going along and you see them fighting things. But you're not connected to these individuals, bar maybe one or two. And like what you've done is sunk hours of time into this and ground through hours of dialogue, EXP, repetitive missions with no benefit. There's no payoff. And that's the kind of thing that drives me nuts about games like Fallout and Red Dead to a point, although I think Red Dead at least has a lot more story focus, and I think the side missions are a bit more interesting.
Right. Do you mean the newest Red Dead or the previous one? Okay.
Yeah. Because they're there because we were told this kind of world sells. We put stuff in the world like trophy hunting, or go in here like we're going for achievements. I hate achievement grinding.
Yep.
It's pointless. It doesn't do anything within the game. It's just there to say I did this. And
I like to achievement grind, but I don't feel good about it.
No, I don't. I can't tolerate it because there's nothing in the game you get from it. There's no benefit. You don't get extra powers. You get a little sign saying trophy awarded.
If it was PlayStation 1 era, you would unlock a silly cheat like Big Head mode.
Yeah, that's the kind of grind that was fun. It's just grinding for the sake of grinding because we have to bulk out the game. That pisses me off.
I think you can tell when it's bad grind as well from certain games when they put in a pay to get past this mechanic.
Oh, don't get me fucking started.
Because when a game goes, if you pay us this much and you can jump through these levels, then surely the game developer knows that it's not good and it has been dragged out and extended for a specific reason.
Hey, Mordor.
Hey, Mikey.
Hey.
Do you want to give us some money so we can give you some random loot boxes?
Hey, you've hit near the end of the game, yeah? Well, you can grind for about 20 hours, or you can just give us money and we'll let you finish the game.
Did you hear now? Do you hear that that's been taken out now?
Oh, good.
For the most part.
Yeah, I bet it has. EA's just sort of waiting for everything to fall off. We know that.
No, it's because now the game's not going to make much money because you've had that main push. So how do you make more money? You take out the thing that everybody hated, and then you can sell it to the people who weren't going to buy it before. I think was the idea behind it.
Yeah. And when loot boxes became real big and pay to win became real big in mainstream games, you saw a lot of bad grinding added.
Oh yeah, loads of stuff to extend it.
Yeah, and it was disgusting. And I hope I genuinely hope Belgium gets this banned from mainstream gaming.
Same, yeah.
I hope that what happened in Belgium happens all over the world. People say, "Oh, someone tried to convince me once that loot boxes and everything else are keeping the game economy alive, and without it, gaming wouldn't make money." Fuck off.
No. It's keeping the rich executives rich.
Yeah,
and
guess what?
The stockholders rich.
They'd all still be rich anyway because the games that are selling are making gangbusters. It's one of the most popular forms of media today.
But Mikey, they're not making all of the money.
Yeah, well, fuck them, because what they're doing is taking advantage of people who would... And this is generally what their model is. This isn't me making a thing. They take advantage of people, the small percentage of people who are willing to spend insane amounts of money on these games.
Oh, yeah.
That's how they make their money. Most people who play them, 90%, never go in for the loot boxes or anything else. That's well documented. It's the 10% that are spending thousands to try and get their favorite characters or whatever. That's who they're making money off of.
The only excuse I'll give is if it's a free-to-play game, I get why they do it, because they're not asking you for any money up front. Granted, they do a bit of a dirty stuff later on, but when you have to pay for America $60, for the UK like £40, and then you have to pay for even more stuff, that's when I start going, come on now.
Yeah, you'd be taking the piss there, buddy.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's a good place to stop. I think we've explained quite well what we find personally good and bad grind.
What
so
do
Mikey,
you find good and bad grind, people?
Yeah, that's a good point. Why not put it in the comments of these places that we're going to list where you can contact us from? Mikey, where can people contact you if they wanna?
You can contact me on Irish Paleo on Twitter, YouTube, but I don't really use that anymore. If you want to leave us feedback, you can leave us feedback at themoonbase2@gmail.com, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Libsyn, on Patreon. Anywhere you have a means of communicating with us. P.S. Ash wins a Pokemon League. Just popped up on my Twitter.
Yeah, I heard about that. It's taken him 20 years.
And he's still... Well, no, for him he's still 10. So it's been like, a month and a half?
No, it's taken him 20 years, so he's 30.
Oh, so he's got that weird disease where he doesn't age.
Yep.
Pikachu.
Well, how else could you go through that many championships and still be 10?
Maybe there was just a lot on. Maybe it's like convention season.
He's traveling the fucking world in less than a year.
Yeah, but Andy, he's traveling the fucking world with no money, no income, and no parents at 10.
Well, he pays in other favors, Mikey.
And he doesn't, because he keeps, anytime he gets that chance, he fucking forgets it, because he's 10, he doesn't know what those favors are. and those favors are like, they're being thrown at him. Like, they're not subtle favors.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, I'm 10. And moves on, and it's just like, why are you alive?
He's not, he's dead inside.
Ash is terrible. Like, as a person.
Oh yeah. Was there anywhere else people can find you? Or was that it?
That's it for me, really.
Well, you can find me on Twitter as CCTFW, on YouTube as Cobra Commander TFW. You can find this podcast on the Moonbase 2 forums, on Twitter, on iTunes, or on Facebook, or on Libsyn, or on YouTube as Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast. And if you want to be like these two cool new people who signed up to the Patreon show, which was $2 from Cyclonus, the one and only, the poor lent-upon person who should have been in a better relationship. That's what we always said about IDW.
Yeah, but we're assuming it's not actually that Cyclonus.
Are we?
Well, I would be slightly concerned if he started paying us money and was real.
I'd be alright with it.
I mean, I'd be asking questions.
I'm disappointed they're not paying in Cybertronian buccarinos, or whatever they use for currency on Cybertron.
The buccarino.
Yeah, the Cybertronian buccarino. It's one buccarino. You would. And we've also got Chris Cash, who's also joined up as well. So thank you very much to the both of you for signing up and getting our extra content, such as the Moonbase Woo Woo, which I mentioned will be on Mighty Max this month, and getting the extended version of From the Files of Teletran 2, and you get that a week early as well as it being extended. And you can also head over to ccbunker.weebly.com for all of the other kind of weird stuff that we may be invited onto and talk about and all that kind of jazz, or just get the show the other way, that way. Yeah. So thank you, Mikey, for joining me this week for another Transformers-filled. He laughs because most of the show is probably not talking about Transformers week. Thank you again, Mikey. You're a good boy. You little cheeks. Ooh.
Oh, God.
Ooh. Bye, everyone.
Ash didn't win with Pikachu. I'm just looking at the...
What do you win with?
Rowlet.
Is that a dog?
Yep.
Hmm.
And that was... Oh, I'm sorry. That wasn't the win. That was a fucking... You got lucky, son. You got lucky.
You got lucky, mate. You got lucky.